What's up, News 19 nerds? That's right, you guys are nerds right along with us. We're the News 19 nerds, your friends of the show. Nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm Michael. You're very excited.
Well, because this is our first time doing this.
Yeah, right?
So,
Talking about comic books. Is this our first review of any type of comic book or
I don't know
graphic
if
novel?
it's, well, probably, I don't know. We'll have to look through our, tens of videos.
One of these days we'll say we'll do all the things we say we do.
So, one of the things I thought was interesting is we both read different things. I'm primarily a comic book and graphic novel reader. I read a whole bunch of stuff, but you like to read a lot of novels. And one of the books that you really liked, that you really had been touting, was Lev Grossman's The Magicians. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about it.
Trilogy of books. Like the simple answer is it is Harry Potter grown up.
Okay.
That's very reductive, but that gives you a basic idea of kind of what you're dealing with. You're dealing with magic. There are schools, and not like Hogwarts schools. It's more like a
Harvard and Yale.
Yeah, like those,
Yeah.
really high prestigious institutions that teach magic. Brakebills is one of them. His books kind of follow 4 or 5 different
Who's
kids.
his?
Lev Grossman.
Okay.
Sorry. His books, The Magicians, follow 4 or 5 kids who go to Brakebills, and some kids who try to go to Brakebills and don't go to Brakebills, and just what happens to them after they graduate from college and they have magic in their life.
And they go into the real world.
They go into the real world.
Okay.
It's not necessarily happy endings all the time. It's kind of more, magic may or may not be great.
Okay.
A lot of times when people have magic, you think of
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter or
Lord of the Rings.
Sword of the Sword and the Stone. It's magic is great. In these books, magic isn't always great. There's usually some type of price to be paid with magic, and it just kind of deals with that fallout. The books have done well. A series on Sci-Fi is going on right now.
Okay.
I think it's in the 4th season. Pretty sure 4th season is coming up. They just did finish up season 3, and then now they have released this graphic novel.
Okay.
The Magician's Alice's Story.
So this is from our Archaea.
It's a new imprint from, or not?
Yeah.
Is imprint the right word?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
imprint
a new
from
imprint
Boom Studios.
from Boom Studios. I like Boom. They publish a lot of stuff that I like. So this is when we first got this book, you were in San Diego. I got the review copy, and Michael ended up getting the nice.
So for full disclosure for FCC and all that stuff to be above board, we both received review copies of the book. I didn't even know that was coming out when we got that. I had already decided I was actually going to buy the book. This one I actually bought with my own money. $40 from San Diego Comic Con. This is a Comic Con exclusive cover.
Yeah, because it retails in America for $26.99, $34.99 in Canada, and 20 euros.
Sure.
Quid
I don't know. Pounds?
in the UK.
Sterling?
I don't think they do pounds anymore.
Really?
No, I think they do euros.
Okay.
That's their new thing.
Oh, right, because everybody's euros, right? Yeah.
Now, I do know they still say quid because we just watched Hobbs and Shaw, and Deckard Shaw bet his sister 50 quid. The Rock would get punched in the face.
Okay. There we go.
So that's if you want to buy it. So I asked you, because you read it over the weekend, was this an original story within that universe or a retelling?
So yeah, when you first asked me, I thought this was an original story. That's why I was excited. After I read it, I realized it's not an original story. It's I guess that's debatable, but it's essentially retelling the events of the first book from Alice Quinn's perspective.
So the first book is not from anyone's perspective. It's just about all of them.
Yeah, but Quentin is probably your main protagonist.
Really?
Quentin
Okay,
Fullwood is
so
probably the main
it's
protagonist.
mainly from Quentin's point of view.
Yeah.
And Alice is his paramour,
Yeah.
so to speak. And then this is basically life through her eyes, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
all the big events that happen in here happen in that book too. You're getting a different look.
different look at it. Okay, so now that you've watched the series, you've read the book, what do you think?
I think the book is all right. I feel like
This book.
This particular book is all right. I really like the Magician books. I enjoy the sci-fi show. Don't know if I like where the show is going. I'll keep watching. It's not horrible. I just kind of questions about motivations for people. But I think the book is fine. I don't know if this is, without getting into spoilers, how are we doing this video? Now that I think
I say we talk about the book without giving away too much, but then describe what happens without actually saying specific things. This is our first one, so we're still getting it out.
Because my only thing is, like, if you're at Magicians, you know what happens in the book.
Yeah.
So you guys know if you whatever. So non-spoilers. I feel like, to me, I feel like this is a book for people who have already read it and just kind of want to get a different flavor of it.
Okay.
Because there are so many things that aren't included in these books or in this particular graphic novel that I feel like add more character.
Do you think this is a great jumping on point? So let's say you were thinking about reading the book. You were thinking about getting into the trilogy. Does this cover all of the books or just the first one?
Just the first one.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is this a good book to say, you got this, this is not as big as the original novel.
Yeah.
You can look at it right there. Would this be something that you read this and then you went back and picked up the book?
Possibly.
And then got into it that way.
I know if you're like into I don't want to say YA dystopian type stuff, but if you like fantasy type stuff, if you like Harry Potter, if you're a more mature reader,
I would disagree if you like Harry Potter.
If you like magic.
Okay, yeah.
So not necessarily Harry Potter, but if you like magic and magicians and stuff, I think it's a quick read. Because I usually don't read a lot of graphic novels, and I didn't really know how it was spaced. So when I was looking, I was like, this seems kind of big, but
once you start, it moves.
It moves. I probably read it within an hour easily, I was watching other stuff as I was doing it.
Now that I know that this is not an original story, that this is a retelling of the books themselves, I have to change my grade a little bit on it. I liked it. I liked the pacing. It just felt like it left a lot out. And now that I know it's not an original story, I'm like, okay, that's good. Because the art wasn't bad and the writing wasn't bad. It just seemed as if there was a lot they could not cover, and they picked the juiciest bits to put in it.
For sure.
The reason why I say this is not if you like Harry Potter, so to speak, because to me, this was a magic book, or a book about magic for the loser kids. This honestly to me was Harry Potter meets The Breakfast Club, because it seemed to be magic. One of the things I love about Doctor Strange's comics is magic has a cost, and these seem to have that same theme. These kids, as they grow up, are learning how magic works, and then they're applying it to their life, but then you don't get to really see their life. And that's what I felt was missing in this book.
And for the most part, most of the people who go to Brakebills are probably like your valedictorians and salutatorians at your high schools. These are all the smartest kids, the brainiest kids. For the most part, they're probably not the most popular. Some of them may have been, like a couple of characters in there, they might have been popular in their own cliques or whatever. Or they may have developed new cliques in this new world. But usually these are like the probably introverted people who are always studying, who are always doing all these things because they want to be the best at whatever.
And Alice is smart.
And she's the top of everybody.
She's the top of everybody, but she does not get into it. She does not get into the school the traditional way of being invited.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I liked. To me, the story really moved. I will say the third part of the book, it kind of fell off because there was a lot that went into that to me seemed missing. And it just really picked up and went quickly. And I was like, ooh, wow. I will say none of the characters are sympathetic. So if you like that, this is a good book for you. If you do not, if you like a bunch of
jerk people,
it's not even just jerk people. If you like broken people,
yeah.
If you like broken people, this is the book for you. And I'll go back. I want to say something about the art. The reason why I say the art isn't bad, the art I think did a really good job of being not overpowering to give you a sense of how this person should look. So if you've read the books like you did, you were still able to see that character, even though you had already formed who that person looks like in your head.
Yeah, I would. It was a little weird, jarring almost, because, like I said, I had watched the show. So the people, the actors who play the characters in the show don't necessarily reflect the descriptions that are in the books. Like, the person who plays Penny is completely different in the show than the person that's depicted in the books.
Interesting.
Now, these portraits are definitely favorable with the books over the TV show, so this is probably more accurate to the book.
And that's what I think is interesting, because if you've watched the TV show, it seems to be that they're trying to go in a different route of saying, TV show is a TV show, this is the books, and if you've read the books, this is kind of how they look, but you can still infer how you want them to look based on this. Because I want to say, I looked up Pius Bak's art. I want to say it's Pius, but I could be wrong. I looked up the art, and I'm going to say this is not indicative of that person's best work. There's some amazing, go to his website, Deviant Art as well. There's some amazing art that I've seen that I was like, this name doesn't ring a bell for me. But whoever this person is, great art. I'm not knocking it. I actually like Lilah Sturges. I've read some of her stuff before.
Lumberjanes and some other stuff. Yeah.
You got to meet.
Fables. Yeah.
You got to meet.
I got to meet her.
Signed.
She signed it. So did Lev Grossman. That was really cool. Really nice people. Talked to him for a few seconds. It didn't cost anything to get it signed, so that was rare.
That was awesome. Yeah.
In Comic-Con, they signed it. Talked to me for a few seconds. It was cool.
So let me ask you this: do you think what would you recommend for a reader, since you've watched the show, you've read the books, and you've read this book now? What would you give someone to get into this magician's world? Which one would you recommend?
I'd probably give them the book,
really?
The original book, over this, just because I feel like you get everything there at once. With this, like you said, there are pieces that you're kind of missing.
That fills the world out, that makes it a fuller world. Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like, Lev does a great job. It's a world that he created. He does a great job of building out those characters, fleshing out their backstories, and you get more motivation behind this stuff. I really feel like this is for somebody who's already read it and just to getting a different perspective.
Or maybe somebody who's maybe because you talk about that it's a very adult world. Maybe this is for that in-between reader. You don't want to give them that giant tome, but they can swallow this, a teenager, in between that. They're right there at that high school age and not yet going to college. This, not necessarily a young adult, but this has some more adult themes of how to deal with. And also, I like the way these are not your typical boyfriend-girlfriend characters. There's some there's some violence in here. I did like that. I just felt like that towards the end of the book, it went really quick, and it hadn't fleshed out a lot of that other stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say that I did like the book. I did like it. I liked the writing involved. I just felt it was I could tell it was a story based on a book because there was so much that I wanted to know about.
Yeah.
But I will say it did inspire me to go read it.
Okay. And there are quotes like in this book that are lifted directly from the actual book. That's like, I remember them saying that. It was kind of cool to see that written and then to see a picture with it too to kind of go with that, because they're like kind of big points in the story.
I wonder if we can show some, because this is our first time. So I will say this is the review copy. So this is the inside of the book. This is,
I have no idea how well that's showing up.
I think it's showing up okay.
Okay.
Can you look at that monitor over there?
Yeah, it's not bad.
So this is the regular cover. That's Alice on the cover. Again, the stitching, it's nice, it's thick. It's got Lev Grossman on the top, Lilah Sturges. I will say, nice panels. Like I said, Pius's art it's not bad. It's just there's not a lot of detail. It leaves a lot for you to fill in the blanks.
Right.
And I'm not knocking it. It's just one of those things where this is a graphic novel, so I wanted to be a little bit more graphic.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I did like it. It did make me intrigued to read the actual books. But I don't know if I would recommend this over the books, as you say.
Yeah. All right, so that's non-spoiler, right? I feel like we got everything we need out of that.
So this is our first one. Let us know if you like. We'll try to review more of this stuff. Like we said, this is a review copy, and the reason why we want to do it is because we got this review copy from Boom Studios, from the imprint Archaea. Don't get me wrong, we're not trashing this, we're not knocking it. It was a really good read. We just have a little bit of quibbles with it. Boom does a really good job. Anything you buy from them, to me, is high quality. Look at that. That covers it. And then this is the Comic-Con edition. How much is that selling for?
Oh, like eBay and stuff? I have no idea. I just bought it for $40.
I'm just saying, like, you should, like, look that up so you could, like... Well, the reason why I say, because you could probably get, like, a dust jacket or something, or, like, at least, you know, because you got it signed and everything. But let us know what other books you would like to see us review.
Oh, we not doing non-spoilers?
No, we don't need to do non-spoilers. Let them... Yeah.
Oh, we done?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yo, this is a surprise to me.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to do spoilers. I don't know. I don't like spoiling books for people. I want them to read it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
So maybe we'll do one. You let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you want to hear more about it.
If we should like delve into it, because I don't. People do different ones. Some people do like, because I don't want to know everything when you know.
Okay.
So that's just us. So let us know. Maybe we're doing this wrong. This is our first one. Shout out to. We got the idea from our homegirl. You should go check out our channel. Destiny from, is it KGW?
I think it's KGW.
KGW in Portland, one of our sister stations. She does comic reviews.
She does much better than what we're doing right now.
And her edits are
really good.
On point. Check her out. That's where we got the idea, so we want to send some love over there. Michael will try to put like a little frame of her stuff in here, right there.
I will not.
I don't know if he will or not.
I won't. Don't put that out there.
So I think that's it. So guys, we really appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. Hit us up in the comments. We're out. Billy Oso.
Who was that?